All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me have to take away myself. Me have to take away myself. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away myself. I have to take away myself. I have to utilize my wings. Show the eye cleaver eyes. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. With this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel hide like a thief in the night. May I forget out of sight. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Show the eye a clean pair of heels. I say, yeah. Been there, done that, don't need it again, yeah. I'm not a masochist who won't play your game, yeah. To all you move, you off me way to the core. Sayonara, the hot girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. You say no good body, girl, let me take me ourselves. Yeah, take me ourselves. No good body, girl, let me take me
This is your very own sports, music, and lifestyle podcast with Flavius and Franco. Welcome.
Greetings, kings and queens. Greetings, Flavius.
Morning, Franco.
Yeah, welcome.
How do you on your side?
Huh? I don't hear that.
How is it on your side?
My
How is
side,
it on your?
a bit bleaky,
Okay.
but it's dry so far. Heavy rain early this morning,
Okay.
but other than that, it's dry. What is it
Yeah,
like
we are
in your
we
neck
are
of the
pretty dry.
woods?
We are pretty dry. Sun peeping out, which is a good sign for me. I need to get some clothes dried. I don't know if it's going to stay warm or hot all day. Sometimes you have the intermittent rain, But
Hopefully it might be
quiet
dry.
place is quiet. I mean,
Hopefully it might be dried.
yeah, but I will even for part of the day, so we can get some things dried.
Mm.
But that's how it is now. I don't hear a thing on the road, some cars passing, that's about it. But it's Monday morning and there's no school, so there's no big rush.
So normally today would
No
have be
great
school.
movement.
Today that be back to school, right?
Yeah, school would have.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah.
well,
But they
well.
have another month. Exactly 1 month.
That's good for them. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Maybe things might, normalize by that time.
Yeah. Have enough. Yep, we have enough time to do all the preparations, both the schools and the kids
Mm,
and the government.
true, 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 true.
Everybody will have enough time to do what they. And so this sworn in today,
Mm-hmm,
I am told,
mm-hmm,
sometime this afternoon,
mm-hmm,
and I suspect that shortly after, which is probably another few days,
mm-hmm.
he will name his cabinet to start the governance.
Okay,
And I
okay.
guess right now he's basically on his own.
Mm,
And after that, now then they're going to reopen Parliament and all this, fanfare.
mm-hmm. Well, everything look good then.
Only one coming out of the election so far
Mm-hmm,
is that after the official count, they are calling it recount, but it's not a recount.
mm-hmm,
It's an official count because the first count on the day of the election that is not really a count.
mm-hmm.
That is just a count, preliminary count that gives everybody an idea of who win and who lose,
Mm-hmm.
but it's nothing official.
Mm-hmm.
So you have one sheet that when they did the official count ended up
Mm.
tie exact amount.
Okay.
But of course they had spoiled ballots and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the rule of the country is that if you have a tied vote, the presiding officer casts cast a vote to break the tie. But you can't have a tie. So when they tried it on Saturday, a lot of disruption started, so they just closed it down and came back on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
What they did, they had two ballots and they marked them Jamaica Labour Party, People National Party. This is with the presiding officer outside the room. Put them in a box, shake it up, and ask him to come in. Dip his hand in and pick out the winner, which he did. And by whatever luck it was our chance, the PNP won. The people in the community are very unhappy about that because he has been there for a while and so them don't really want him back. But he's now the winner.
Which parish is that?
The Westmoreland,
Okay.
which was all PNP for the forever. And now they have lost all except this one.
Mm,
So the GLP now have filed in the courts for a magisterial recount.
mm,
So a judge will have to come and count it
mm-hmm,
and decide the ballots that were rejected if they are actually good.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know when that will be. That I would imagine that will be a few days
So that's
from
pending
now.
for now. That's pending for now.
Yeah, and like you were saying that it don't really matter, but it doesn't matter for the party.
No, you were
For
saying
the,
it a going matter for the MPs because it's big.
yeah, it matters. It matters for
It's a big position for them. More salary.
yeah. Apart from the whole big up thing, I'm an MP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Parliament, so that's a big press. So they have, and they are looking after the people and, after the comfort. So to lose, people, to lose is to lose. To win is a different kettle of fish. Even them don't get no posts per se in the parliament. They are in the parliament and they can vote and all that stuff. And they have their constituency to they have their constituency to look after. Now, what is happening now is that even if the person themselves wasn't very fussy in winning because the party wasn't so big, the people in the community is not having that.
Because they vote,
because they want this
them
new
vote him out. Yeah, them vote out this man already.
Well, they haven't voted him out. They tried to vote him out, but it came up tied. That means even with the swing, he still had some support, and that is that's where it's at. But the people definitely want a change. There, that's what they say. I imagine that half of them will be saying that, and half would be saying, he has been a good man, keep him, So.
And you said there's no way them can, what you call it, have a re-vote at the parish. I mean, that community then, for that seat.
No, there's no need for re-vote. Everything is by set down in law,
Mm-hmm.
What they have to do now is let the judge count it and the judge decide on all the votes, the good ones and the ones that were rejected by the presiding officer.
Well, it'll go the other way. You want to bet?
And not necessarily when the judge decide now on the count, one person will win even by one vote. One person will win and one will lose. And I'm not sure if they have a second legal thing that they can try. But I think when the judge counts, that's it. That's it. So within a week, we'll hear who wins that seat. The other news is that on the day of the election, I think the preliminary count showed Lisa Hanna winning by, I think, 8 or 12 votes. And when they did the official count, she actually won by 32 votes.
She barely hang on again.
Yeah. But I don't hear anything from the news that says the GLP want a magisterial recount. I'm not seeing that. So it looks like she have actually won.
Yeah, because if she did win by 12 before and then this time 32, she win.
Yeah. But I think 32 is a number that they probably could even, if they really wanted to, put it to the judge. Mm-hmm. But I figure she will win anyway. So I don't hear about any other one. I think there's one more seat that was close, but I'm not hearing about any ministerial recount.
Did you get in touch with Teddy?
No, I sent everything from yesterday. I didn't hear anything back from him, so I expect that he will be here.
Yeah, him say I'm going to be here this morning.
Yeah.
So we're going to hear what is coming out of the camps, them all over.
Yeah. But like I say, I haven't heard any other constituency that any problem, that there's any other problem.
Somebody had sent me a text yesterday trying to find out about the what I'm call it, Jamaica participating in any practice match that each federation is going to play.
We talk about football?
Yeah, international friendlies going on. Europe start theirs already.
I don't know when. I think I heard something about CONCACAF, but I didn't hear fully. what they have decided. But I think they're going to be playing.
Okay.
I think they're going to be playing.
So that
I
means
don't hear any
the team
training.
is being prepared then.
I would imagine so. But I was hearing something that is going to be mostly local based players at this stage because I don't know how many clubs will be letting our players to play. So I really don't know. But I think
That's a good look.
that now that the thing has started, I mean, we are in September now. We are in September now, so we expect to hear things.
You know,
We
everything
are.
I'm seeing in the sports arena is just they're forcing the issue.
Mm,
Everything. Because if concert cannot happen, but football and all them stuff. Well, mainly football, that because them take time bringing in some supporters into the games. Saw a
I
game
don't know.
yesterday. I don't know if that was a Dutch game, Dutch against Italy, and they had some spectators there.
Okay. But I know cricket is happening with no spectators. Everybody in a bubble, one big bubble. If you come out, you can't come back in because you have the 2 weeks quarantine and then them test you a million times. So if you get tested and you are in and accepted in and you are playing, you can't leave. But the cricket in the Caribbean will be finishing this week. And now there's a women team that is off to England now. I think they're in England now. Same like what the men did. They are in a big bubble. Can't go anywhere, can't do anything. Nobody can come there. So they are in their quarantine period and they train at the same time because they have the facilities to themselves, And I think these facilities are facilities that have their own hotel. So everything is one big complex. So you don't need to go out, and everybody who is there, like cooks and other workers, I mean, they went into their quarantine and all that stuff, and they can't leave the bubble either.
The good thing,
So that is happening.
Dan is coming this morning, so he's going to give
Yeah.
us some updates on the rest of
Hmm.
sporting activities.
Yeah.
Because I know racehorse is, active,
But
very
yeah,
active.
man. But the the football people have shown that it can work because I mean football don't need spectators. Need them because the money don't come from gate receipt. Very small amount. It's all from television. So they can survive without spectators.
Most of the sports can survive without spectators because
Yeah,
it's
all of them,
television.
all
Yeah, it's television
yeah,
rights.
all, them- yeah, all them can. Mm,
That's what feeding them television rights.
yeah, lots of money,
The
big money.
the gate receipt and the parking um
Yeah,
dividends, all of those cash
yeah,
that come in, it's just to cover off the ground. Take care of the
yeah,
ground.
yeah. Yeah, that is just to keep people honest. They don't want to give it away free, and the club will make a nice little change from that.
So today we don't have no did
So
you know then?
yes, man, we just don't have any photos.
No files, okay. Well, go ahead.
No, yeah, no fun.
Go ahead.
Eh?
Go ahead because we want to bring in Teddy as early as possible.
Yeah, man.
And then
Yeah,
bring in
man.
Dan. Give them
Yeah,
half hour.
it won't take around 5 minutes. And I mean, Friday was our 100th episode, so this is our 101. So we're starting a new century of episodes. So I thought I would just give you. In fact, this was sent to me by one of our avid listeners, Miss Carol Miller.
Mm-hmm.
She found it and thought it would be good for us to listen to. And it's called Ancestral Mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that in order to be born, you needed two parents, four grandparents, eight great grandparents, 16 second great grandparents, 32 third grandparents, 64 fourth grandparents, 128 fifth grandparents, 256 sixth great grandparents, 512 seventh great grandparents, 1024 eighth great grandparents, 2048 ninth great grandparents. For you to be born today from 12 previous generations, you needed a total of 4,094 ancestors over the last 400 years. Think for a moment how many struggles, how many battles, how many difficulties, how many sadness, how much happiness, how many love stories, how many expressions of hope for the future did your ancestors have to undergo for you to exist in this present moment? So think on that, folks. Think on that. So much time had to pass, and so many people had to be involved. At least 4,094. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of things happening. A lot of different emotions and all that went on just for you to be here with us, just for any of us to be here. So think on that. And tomorrow we'll get back with us in our home, the Caribbean.
That's
So
that's a lot
I
of
said,
people right there saying, but me still not,
yeah, man.
I don't get past the great great grandparents. I don't get past the fourth one.
Why?
Because I saw many numbers. The numbers increase.
It increased. If you notice, it's a relationship to how you have megabytes and gigabytes and whatever, 16, 30, 64, 128, 256.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, these numbers are numbers that you're buying all these storage devices.
Mm-hmm.
512. It's just multiples of 2. 512, 1024, 2048, up to 4094.
Mm-hmm.
Every step you make, it multiply out. So the first one is 2, and those 2 add 2 each. So that becomes 4, and that 4 now add 4 each. So you get 8, and that 8 add how much is that? 8 each. So they move to 16, and it keep going like that.
I mean,
Because
32.
both parents may have 2 parents each, and those grandparents may have two parents each. So it keep multiplying out. So if we give it a good look, you can understand what is what.
I have an idea what she's saying, But
Yeah, man.
but I'm looking more upon those alive. Right, so it stop. Those who go behind.
Well,
Yes, I know their existence
I mean,
before us.
realistically, it goes up to great grand. You have great grand living now,
Mm-hmm.
especially people are having, what do you call it now? People are having young ones much earlier, younger. So the great can be living a long time with them great big girls
It's all in the
because
genes.
everybody started earlier. Everybody started earlier.
It's all in the genes.
Yeah,
It's all in the genes. I want to see if we can bring in Teddy earlier.
yeah, man.
But before, let's play some music. And then we can bring in Teddy, the great Teddy, so him can take us into the really current news. But did you know was brought to you courtesy of Slowly Jamaica, uniquely from the Caribbean.
Stamp out dirty minds and dirty mouths. Suffering from lyrical drought. Deodorant. Talking about this song and watch this song. Hey, so give me the beat. Come for clean up the corner. Skank on your feet, ready for purge out the yard. Lord God, beat. Come for clean up the corner. Skank on your feet, ready for purge out the yard. Culture saver and Lord. We set the highest standard. Yeah. You're getting a treat on it, so sweet you know a fiance and who want it. Different crew I go to a go meet. Specialize in wise up, rise up. Open all your eyes, nuts gon' kill them boogie yanker in the street. So mother, father, daughter, son, no better pack up and come. Play culture lyrics we are fling down. Leg your foot them on the floor, we won't refuse to give you more. Long time we don't hear this, I'm sure. Comfy and chain, no mind with double form kind. Culture I want gruesome fine, fine.
Yes, my listeners, you're listening to the Real Stuff Podcast. Each and every Monday, we have Teddy Laidley, Mr. Teddy Laidley, giving us the really current news coming out of Jamaica, the Caribbean, and around the world. Morning once again, Teddy.
Well, good morning to you and your listeners. And we know we have a productive day because it starts already.
True. So what's happening in Jamaica and around the world, or around the Caribbean?
Well, put it this way. Let us deal with what we have control over, which is Jamaica.
All right.
Yeah. And start there. Earl Nightingale, for many of the persons who grew up in Jamaica, this was one of the earlier motivational speakers back in the 70s, early 70s. He used, I think, come on at 8 o'clock in the night. And one of the things that he said, be careful what you set your heart upon, you shall surely have it. And that segue into what happened here in Jamaica in the last couple of days since our general election. And to say that the leader of the opposition, during an interview after he have cast his vote, said if he loses the election, he will resign from representational politics and resign as leader of the opposition. And so it says, be careful what you set your heart upon. Now, as we always say to people, one of the smallest muscles on the body is the tongue. And they always said, there's life and death in the tongue. Be careful what you speak and says. And so he speak it over, his career. And the unfortunate thing that statement dogged the whole atmosphere of the election on that day. And then to know the fact that the party lost so devastatedly. And there's so many other things that is happening around that, because the question now come up, who naturally they're going to be by election if he stepped down as the MP for the area.
Oh, yes.
There are assertions that in order they might, as I said, there are a lot of assertion and a lot of speculation taking place in order, because this is going to be the second time that the party representative of the leader of the party is not the leader of the representative. This takes years ago when Norman Manley was then the leader of the party. He was not the leader of the opposition. It also is again under Bruce Golding. When Bruce Golding was the leader of the party, when they were bringing him in, and then the Ken Barr was the leader of the opposition. So at the time, they parachuted Mr. Golding into the seat then held by Edward Seago. Right. So it is not something that is new in Jamaica. It's just that over the years, persons accustomed to see the leader of the party ascend to the prime minister.
True,
and that,
true.
I said to the person, that is two separate entities, but people are accustomed to see it being twinned together because the party is different from representational politics. It's a party who sometimes fuel persons because let us look at it. Nigel Clark, who is the Minister of Finance, right? And there are several other persons who were brought in, which include Bunting. He was asked to come on board by Portia years ago because of his business attributes. So many a person might not necessarily who represent the parliament might not be stalwart or staunch party members, because from time to time, even Mark Golden himself was asking because he and Bunting were a business partner together. So if you look, there are persons who are member of parliament who were not staunch and they did not come from the backbone of the party. That is what we want to let persons be aware of, that it is an entity, but because it intertwined over the years, and it's been said now that it's the first time that a member of the party and leader of opposition will not ascend to, that was Peter Phillips, who said that he will not ascend to the post of prime minister. He is the first leader, and this is what we're trying to tell people. The leader of the party and the leader of the opposition is two separate entities, but it intertwined over the years that people think it is one. It is not one.
But he's stepping down from both position, though.
Right, he's stepping down from both position.
Okay.
Now, the question is...
But Teddy,
Yes. Yeah.
it started way back in the 60s, you know. Because
No, that's right.
just after election, when Bustamante stepped down, he was still the leader of the party. And for a very, very long time. Yeah.
Yeah, until it was given over to Shearer when he become as a matter of fact, it was his passing, because he even when he was no longer be representative in politics, because Shearer had his seat. Shearer get his seat. Shearer was parachuted into his seat, and then after he died, Shearer ended up getting the post of president of the BITU. So a lot of persons think that they both finance one, but
Shearer was never the leader of the JLP.
Run that one back again.
He was the president. president of the BITU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Shearer was never leader of the JLP.
So it's a Shearer was
Well,
never yeah. Go ahead and do your thing, Teddy. 1 minute.
Shearer was president of the BITU and he was the prime minister of Jamaica, but he
Okay.
was never the leader of the JLP.
Okay.
Buster was still the leader when Shearer was prime minister.
Okay. So it's when
mm,
Buster died. No, Shearer still wasn't the leader. Somebody else became the leader.
No. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Who was the leader then?
I think it passed from Buster to to Shiaga.
Oh, really?
Yep.
All right.
That's my understanding. That's my understanding.
Winton Hill never in it. Winton Hill wasn't a 1 year there, so.
Winter it was, I think it was PNP.
Oh, at the time.
All the time.
come here, Shania, come here.
I see.
Yeah. Tell him I'm on a radio program. Yeah. No. Remember the. In terms of the leadership, I just said the leadership of the party. Again, the BITU, which is the union, the Labour Party, which is the party itself, and then the opposition then would have represent the government in waiting. Right. Now, Buster, as it was said, was the first president, and then then it moved on to, I just said, Siago. Now, Buster then he was both president of the party and president of the union. Now, Shearer was then given the president of the union, and Siago was given the president of the party. Then, remember, Shearer was the one who contested the election of 1972 with Michael Manley.
Yeah, because he was the prime minister before, yeah.
And he get the prime minister not again because of a vote. You see, remember the first in 1967, right? The party was led because the party won the 62 election along with the 67 election. And in 67, Sangster was then the prime minister. Because when Buster stepped down, it was then given to Sangster because of ill health. No, and then after Sangster died, it was given to Shearer. So Shearer did not contest it when it was handed to him. It was given just like what happened in 1990, in 92.
92, yeah.
When Manley gave it to Patterson, and then Patterson do the 1993 election. So then he had his own mandate in 93. So and then what happened is Siago then take over the leader of the opposition from Shearer, because when they contested the election in 1972 and it was lost to Michael Manley.
No, okay, yeah.
Yes. Then Shearer was then the leader of the opposition, and then it was then handed over to Siago.
Okay.
And so the 76 election, because remember now, the 72 election, it was contested in terms of it was the government of the day, 1972, Hugh Shearer, Prime Minister, Michael Manley, the opposition leader, because in 1969, when Norman Manley stepped down as the leader of the president of the party, he gave it over to his son. Mm-hmm. And there's also a contest taking place for the leadership. But that's another time for another story. So now he ended up getting it. Michael ended up being the leader, the president of the party, the People's National Party. So he was the one that went into election mode in Shearer in 1972. After Shearer lost, the government of the day lost to the PNP, 1972. Mm-hmm. Then it was handed over, the opposition position was handed over to Siago. So Siago then was the one that went into an election with him in 1976. And again, lost. And then again, Siago went for 1980.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Called the snap election in 1983. That was not contested by the then, because like what is happening today, the PNP at the time was really disorganized at that point. Were really disorganized. So therefore, they were not in a position to take on the mantle. They had to straighten themselves out. Mm-hmm.
But
it is interested.
But Teddy,
yes.
You realize that it seems like Siaga was the prime minister who lost the most.
Yes. Because
he lost in 76, and he lost 3 times against Patterson.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and he lost against Michael Manley again in 89. In 89.
Right. So because the funny thing about it, the only reason why it looked like he lasted 10 years is because one, he had, because remember, in 1983, when he called a snap election, it was not constitutionally due.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, because it was
he had lost the ability to govern.
It was just 3 years after he won in 1980.
With a massive landslide.
Right. And the question, the question, that's why persons like ourselves who have been around are calling for a fixed date election. Because in that case, if there was a fixed date election, he could not have manipulated. And that's what persons are saying. the Prime Minister have the ball in his court to call the election at any time convenient to him. Because again, even this one that take place here, as I said, is not constitutionally due until February of next year. So again, it called within the first 4 years, not the 5-year term.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that we have to do is to get fixed date election. So at least we know and prepare and it able to allow the country to put their house in order. It would have helped the electoral office again with regards to setting up, because then they wouldn't have to be playing the waiting game. Because when you don't know when the election is due, then both your resources, financial resources, and your human resources is on a ping pong. Because then now you have to be waiting to see when you're going to get the funds. Then you also have to look at recruiting your people then. And so the important thing is, once you have a fixed date, then the funds would put aside, then the resources of human resources are being put aside. And so we know exactly when it's going to take place and put the machinery in place. But looking at it right now, this afternoon at 3 o'clock, the Prime Minister will be sworn in. And then after that, the cabinet, he will name his cabinet. And the thing that I'm hoping right now is that he has more personnel to pull from. And what I would also suggest, years ago, persons were mentioning that the cabinet that Portia had was too many persons. And I believe, in my opinion, if you have personnel, whether it's 25 and the ministries are running efficiently, it shouldn't matter. And having super ministry, in my opinion, does not work. Because, for example, you have the Ministry of Industry and Commerce twinned with agriculture and fisheries. And I think those two ministries supposed to have two separate, because agriculture, yes, and commerce work together, but I think agriculture and fishery and land should be together, because when you look at, you need land for agriculture. And so I would say land, water, and agriculture should be one ministry, because they constantly complain about one key thing, which is water. So therefore, if water and land join with agriculture, I think it is a plus. Because for too long, our farmers are complaining that they don't have titles for the land that they are cultivating, because the whole land distribution, title distribution is always a problem. For the past couple of years, farmers, that's what caused problem in St. Thomas. It caused problem down in St. Elizabeth, where farmers have been farming land for years. And then all of a sudden, developers come in, persons with large capital come in and purchase these land. I think if we put land, agriculture, and water together, we shouldn't be having problems. We then could look at agriculture as an alternative rather than tourism, because the COVID shows how sensitive the tourism area is. Agriculture stood up during COVID. We have adequate amount of food. We're able to distribute it to its populations. And so therefore, persons shouldn't be complaining about agriculture, get agriculture, land, and water together. And so, therefore, the farmers out there can produce. The farmers can feel comfortable in their land. The farmers, in terms of the land acquisition and land distribution, it means you can use your land as assets. And those are some of the things that the farmers are complaining about. They don't have agricultural insurance. They don't have ownership of the many lands that were passed down to them by generation. And so those are the things that the government need to address. No, the Ministry of Economic Growth and I think that you can throw that through the window. Personally, economic growth and job creation. You know what I mean? That should go. That throw through the window. Personally, because if all of the sector within the ministry are functional, then you don't need no economic growth. You will see the economic growth and job creation. That to me, that ministry don't make no sense. That's just my opinion. Because
I agree with you completely, Ted, because the government shouldn't be looking about jobs and whatever, things like that. What the government needs to do, put in the infrastructure and let the system work.
Yeah, because the government role is... Because, all right, take for example, if you look at the Ministry of Education, what we should be doing look at the job market. We must stop and take a serious look at where the creation of work and how the future is looking. We cannot continue the classroom kind of thing that feed into a job that is becoming obsolete. We now have to look at technology. That's where we have to look. That's what we have to talk about. Look at the Ministry of Education and redesign the Ministry of Education. When we have a ministry like the one that Flavel was running, right? Energy. What we should be doing is put education and tech together. That's what we that technology and why are you going to talk about energy and technology? It should be education and technology that complement each other. Energy is supposed to be working with environment, so we have a sustainable environment. So I'm going to hope the Prime Minister is looking at things. Look, for example, currently we have the Ministry of Youth, Culture, and Community Development. Does not make sense. Culture and entertainment supposed to be together. Community development supposed to be with local government.
And sports by itself.
And sports by itself. Mm-hmm. Why is it that you put in community development and culture with Ministry of Education? It don't make sense. So I'm only hope that there is some key thinking this time around to address some of the issues that we know have enough persons to pull from, and also using common sense, right? Using common sense. The housing, housing and land. You know, to me, housing should be far different from land, because like I mentioned before, land should be with agriculture. Housing should be with community development. if you're going to talk about making changes, housing should be with community development. Because when you talk about housing, you talk about community. Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So therefore, agriculture and fishery is supposed to be by itself. Commerce, industry, and investment must be by itself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, housing and community development and road should be together.
So Teddy, let me ask a question. So if one should reach out to the office of the Prime Minister and send like an email saying all of what you're saying, would they look at it?
No, well, you can tell something. They have their own agenda. But what I'm saying, it goes to the grain of what we always said on the program. Common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Common sense. The thing that people complain about is the road. Yes, we have good secondary roads, but a lot of the primary roads to move the agricultural product from the small community or the small farm to the consumer is where a lot of the farmers are complaining. The roads are not good. Yes, we have a highway. Yes, highway help with the development of a country because it interlock with commerce and all of that. But we forgot the farm roads. We can say yes, we have nice highway, beautiful. It takes us 3 hours now to get down to Montego Bay. That's fine. But what about the farm? And so the constant complaint of persons, road, water, light. Just recently, an accident happened on a road, again, because of poor lighting and because the too many times we do development and forgot about how nature works. Too many times we run roads across rivers. Because what? We say to ourselves, oh, a river have not passed through in years. When we were growing up, yeah, a river used to down here. So we boastful now put a road in the riverbed. And when a heavy downpour of rainfall, it come back to its natural course.
A river that come back fit rightful spot.
Exactly. And so what we are saying here, yes, for years, it's like one of the things that I have said for years. The water problem we have in Jamaica should not have been going on for so long because we have adequate amount of underground water and adequate amount of surface water. And all it needs is proper distribution.
Yes.
Proper distribution.
That's what it needs, distribution.
The other thing that I've seen happen, that I visited Cayman. Cayman is not as luxurious as Jamaica in terms of having certain natural resources like waterfalls and springs and rivers. They deal with desalination. And you go to the store and buy potable water. And the point is, we should at least establish a desalination plant in Jamaica, pumping the water from the sea that create what we call, Jamaica was the first in this hemisphere that have hydroelectricity in the region years ago. We should be then creating hydroelectricity out of the desalination plant. So therefore, allow electricity to become cheaper and feed grills that are already there. We cannot have a country that have abundance of sunlight and we still move into fossil fuel. Something is wrong.
We need renewable energy, man.
Here you go. And one way we could be creating
Teddy,
yes.
Most of the Caribbean is moving that way now, And I was very shocked that that never came up in the election campaign from nobody. It was
Well,
just
because
his absence was so deafening. Not one person spoke about renewable energy. None.
you know, it's I am awaiting to see the look of the cabinet when the prime minister name it, because like we said, if you twin certain ministry, certain benefits will help the nation. Just like we said, um, finance, planning, and public service, that's fine. Public safety and security should be a new ministry. Agriculture and fishery should be by itself. Commerce, industry, investment should be by itself. Right? Like I said, water, land, and road should be by itself. Like I mentioned, land, water, road, and agriculture should be one ministry. The Ministry of Housing and Community Development should be by itself. The Ministry of where you have Science and Technology, right, and Energy. What that should be is that energy and environment should be one. Science, technology, and education supposed to be a ministry by itself. Culture, entertainment, right, should be by itself. Now, the ministry that look about the one that Bob the Grange have of gender and sports, right?
Gender, sport, culture, all kind of things. About 4 or 5 ministries now on.
That's a super ministry. It should be by itself because she has information. Information to me should not be a ministry. You have a spokesperson who talk on the behalf of the government. You shouldn't be about a ministry of information. We have the government arm, which is GIS. That is what should have then highlight what government is doing. So,
is GIS still functional though?
Huh?
GIS, it's still functional, right?
No, it's still functional. It's very functional.
Okay.
When you look at this and the it should be one office. Why you go to have the Attorney General of Justice? One, when we look at the Ministry of National Security, years ago, and judge, them. Why are you going to have a military just and justice should be one ministry? You have no, the Ministry of Health should come with the intent because an impact on our health. So, for example, when Dr. he was in the Ministry of Health, he put the proposal of no smoking in public. That makes sense. Health environment ministry should have combined because you can have and knowing that it has an impact on our health and treat it differently. Environment and health. No,
I get some shortage from you, Teddy.
yeah,
I get some shorting from you.
yeah,
In and out.
yeah.
In and
The
out.
Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Labor and Training, and the government, and we call it the public service should be one ministry. The Ministry of Labor, Public Service, and Training supposed to be together. Because you're talking about a labor force, you talk about training a labor force, and you're talking about appointing a labor force. So that in itself should be one ministry.
What about local government?
Local government, like we mentioned, should be, like I said, be by itself. Which other would local government? Local government and inner city development should be together.
Okay.
Local government and inner city development should be together. Whereas since the local government is responsible for the municipalities, the country,
Yeah.
right? Each, yes.
I don't agree with you on that at all. I don't think we need a local government. I think it's a waste and it has no real purpose. We already have municipalities. We need to let them work, give them autonomy to work, and forget about somebody sitting over them shoulder with a big stick. Give the municipalities the autonomy to get money, to create their own thing, and build up the parishes. I think
Yes.
local government is actually stifling the development of the parishes.
No.
Yes.
The about it is when you have each municipality, just like what you're saying, but you must have somebody to represent that sector at the level of cabinet. That's the point I'm saying. Yes, they're giving them their own autonomy, but when they go about and talking about development, they must have somebody, because remember, the cabinet is the arm that manages the country. So they have somebody inside there that will, on their behalf, turn out the development place and the accountability.
The point I'm making today is that they can have a minister of local government, but they don't need a ministry of local government. I think that's a complete waste. They don't need a ministry. They might have a minister and they might have a few workers to maintain, to get reports, what is happening and all that. They don't need a ministry for that. That's a waste of time, waste of space, waste of resources.
Hear my rebuttal. My rebuttal is you have, it would have been how many municipalities each parish have a mayor. That is 14 mayor, right?
No,
No.
13.
Yeah?
13. Yeah, 14, no, 14, yeah. With two more, right.
Is it one and four more? No, what
Yeah.
I'm here, my rebuttal, as you rightly said, give them autonomy because, for example, the tax pay help the municipality in terms of line and road and cleaning up certain ears and the garbage, all that. But why I mentioned local government and inner city development that falls under it means you will then help shape development alongside with the in municipal. That's why I'm saying having a ministry help them shape, because they know what you want to do. You want accountability and transparency. And the reason for that, you don't want a situation that happened recently where 400 millions or whatever millions being taken out of the municipality and because of scrupulous behavior. That's why you want to make sure that you have a ministry that oversee that. Not that the other ministries are not being overseen. When you come on to the municipalities, you want a ministry to oversee the funding, the transparency, and the accountability of the mayors and the councillors. Because remember, the councillors are funded to take care of their community. That's why a ministry of local government and inner city development is very important. So therefore, the councillors,
we have to disagree. We have to agree to disagree, Teddy.
No. That's my rebuttal. That was my rebuttal.
Yeah. No, we have to disagree because right now the parish councils cannot create their own money. They cannot do anything. Everything has to be directed from the local government. And you see over the years, the different parishes, there is no growth or development in any parish in Jamaica apart from Kingston. None. And that is what we have to change so we can change Jamaica.
Yes, what I'm saying here, instead of the money going to the consolidated fund to central government, what you want a situation that the councils, as you rightly said, create its own funding and its own development, but must be accounted for the local government. If you need, what I would have suggested is certain amount in budget that the municipal to do without state and local government. Anything over that, they need to get approval from central government. That's what I would have said. The mayor can spend generate wealth, because once persons who live in communities and who are paying property tax and can see the result of their property tax, then they have no problem in paying property tax because they've seen it. The garbage has been taken care of, the street lights have been taken in the community, right? The thing like stray animals are taken care of, right? Should also be taken care of, right? The community clinics, the health center should be coming under that, because that is local.
Yeah, but Teddy, that is a minute part of the whole thing. Let me tell you what is Jamaica problem. We are not allowing the parishes to develop. So people have to leave wherever they are, the parishes, and head to Kingston to get a work. Now, when they get the work and they collect the money, because they are in Kingston probably about 15 or so hours per day, all the spending is done in Kingston. So no commerce is happening in the parishes, not enough for it to grow. What we need is to give the give the parish council more autonomy, more powers, so them can be creating, them can be inviting companies to come, they can be building plants or whatever. Because what we need most of all is for people in each parish to be able to work in their parish and spend in their parish so commerce can happen within the parish. And that's how you can
Yeah,
get developed.
I agree
Right
with you
now,
because
right, I mean, if you go to another bay on a work morning and you see the thousands of people every morning have to be out there from 4 o'clock traveling to Kingston. Can you imagine a mother have to work in Kingston? She leave her house at 5 o'clock. That means her kids are still sleeping. She come back at nine. At nine, when she come back, they are gone to bed. How can she bring them up? She never sees them. She don't know how they look when them going to school. They don't know if when them come over, if them do them homework because them have to do that to survive.
yeah,
I would
I
like to,
agree with
I
you
would like
because
I would like to see most people in Jamaica can get up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever and still be able to go to work by 8:30 and they reach
yeah,
back home by 6, 7. That is not the reality today.
yeah,
That is
I
not the
agree.
reality.
I, I can use. Are you hearing me, Flavius?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. A perfect example of what you just said was done in Canada years ago in Brampton. They were the outskirts of Toronto, where the mayor started to invite companies and in terms of tax free and incentive to start up their headquarters there, and it created employment. So
Of
you
course.
are on the track. If we start, for example, many of the BPOs that is heavily invested in Kingston, if we create these BPOs outside of Kingston and set up the whatever commerce there is, because we are also taking development in housing solution. Many of the housing solution now are start taking place outside of the city. And so therefore we need to have commerce now outside of the city. And as you rightly said, you don't have to traverse. So again, the impact on the environment that it takes, the roads, the quality of air coming into Kingston, because ever so often you and I can tell you as a driver, many times I drive and go out of town. And then when you're coming into Kingston, you can see the smog that hangs over the city because of the pollutant. And so, as you rightly said, if we can start bringing commerce outside of the city, it make it one, easy accessible, development can take place there. As you rightly said, the municipal can now start earning its money. The quality of a life for people, as I said, the social side, the social fiber can help to develop, because I just said that mother play a vital role in sharing quality time with the family. And you're right with that. You're right with that. And these are some of the things that we know have to, when the member of parliament and that comes around, and they have, we must have some unity talk. We should be outside. Our MP, he should be having counsel with the communities. This is supposed to be the number one priority now. So you don't do development on my behalf, and I'm not a partaker in it.
Yeah, we need to stop this top down management. That is what is killing us also. The top down management. You
Yeah,
bring everything from the top. The people them don't have a say.
But Flavors, remember the top-down management is a legacy of our past, and it's
I
going to
know.
take a little while for you see, just like the election that take place, recently. I've said to the die-hearted that we are not going to vote on leadership and the charismatic of leadership no more. We are voting on issues and policies. And a lot of young people, the dynamics, the narrative has changed. And it was a lot of young people come out and said, we are not voting like our parents and our grandparents. And that's why the election did make a difference this time around. Because in 40 years ago, this same landslide that we are, the narrative was different. All know there was outside interference within the 1980 election, but this time it came outside interference in this election. This election was fought on the fact that if you do not listen to the people, then you're not going to be in power. That is the analysis of this election. That's the reality. Listen to the people. And that has to be done now.
Hey, Flavius,
Yeah.
and Teddy, are you looking at your screen, Flavius? Because there's a
No.
question. So the person just make a comment, and I think they were talking about what you were mentioning about the municipalities need to get autonomy so they can, function.
Sure.
So the person was saying that would be good, but you will have to look at the demand and supply also. A survey has to be done before these issues can be done. I'm not sure if it's that.
I didn't get most of that.
Oh, you didn't. No, the
I
person
didn't
was
get most of
saying.
that.
Person was saying that would be good, but you will have to look at the demand and supply. Also, a survey has to be done before these issues can be done.
I don't understand that at all.
I don't know if they're referring to the traveling, the distance where you were saying that distant traveling. You were saying it happening all over the world.
Yes, which is true. But the point is, what we're saying that we are able to contain. All right. All right. Take for example, many of the things that we're living in a technological age, and what we is that you don't have to send everything to the city.
True.
You can have splinter organization out in the country that help with the development. That's what we're saying, right? You have certain issues to take care of, and you have to come into the city. What we are saying, some of these issues can be addressed within the town and countries. That's what we're.
That's true. I always in agreement for that. I think some of the stuff them with their Kingston.
Be able to earn and live close to where you live. It's simple as that. Simple as that. Anybody who has ever lived in poor nice to be up at 4 every morning. Not nice at all.
Spanish Town too.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to give the municipalities autonomy so that they can earn their own money. Right now, the municipality cannot earn their own money now. By law, physically, they cannot earn anything. They can't even put on a fundraiser. They can't do anything at all. And in fact, I can tell you more. The parish councils, even get money, supposed to get money from the central government, they don't get a cent. What they get is a vote. That means if they want to do something, they do it, and central government pay it. Like them don't trust them with money. We have to. A municipality can go abroad and get some investors and bring them come and then build a hospital and then build this, build that.
Absolutely.
Everything
True, true. And fix up the city.
cannot go through central government, and if the minister don't like what you're doing, him not pass it. And the people suffer. We need to get away from that. Each parish is supposed to make their own money, create their own, like Teddy was saying, which I know of from a long time. In Canada, the provinces compete against each other to get companies to come in and set up. They compete against other. They compete as it regards to agriculture, technology, because they want to say they are the best in this, they are the best in that, and they attract big money. So people can like all the car companies and whatever, people can get jobs where they live. People we understand that this whole crime thing in Jamaica is not a simple little SOE thing. It's a thing so deep. And one of the main reasons is that these kids are not being brought up. The parents is not there to bring them up with no love and nothing, because them just not seeing them. Them have to rush out early in the morning to get somewhere, Kingston, Montego Bay, Ocherius, to make a little money so them can buy food. When your kids come from school in the evening, you should be there to greet them. I say, how was school today? What did you do? You have any homework? But you don't see your kids until probably Saturday or Sunday. So they don't get the brought up so that we will have like all our kids to have. They don't share any time, good or bad, with their parents. Because the parents are just not there.
And that's the reason, Flavors, why the gangs are prevalent, because the gangs are substitute parents.
Of course. And we're not looking why, what's the reason why. I'm telling them the reason no. The reason I push to it is simple. The Kingston, Jamaica, make every parish have a little commerce, jobs and whatever, so people can stay where they are. Because it is a hassle, It is a hassle. I mean, this I'm telling you from experience. It's a hassle to be getting up so early every morning and heading so far and heading back in the night. Now, you want to buy something. Better you come back and relax. So, you take your lunchtime and buy it. So the commerce happens in Kingston, and Kingston grows and grows and grows. And everywhere else shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. We need to change. This government have a golden opportunity to put Jamaica on the right path. And I want to hope that they do that. These are things that need to change now. Give the parishes a lifeline to compete against each other, to invite investments.
And with that, gentlemen, we come to the
end. If we can do that, if we can do that, we should be all right.
Okay. So we're going to give Teddy and you 1 minute each. You go first, Flavius.
Well, I mean, I don't really need a lot of time. Like I said, I said it a while ago. This new government that we have has gotten a golden opportunity to do right by the country. And the opportunity they have is that they always say, well, we can't get this passed because of the opposition. Because the opposition is too strong and the opposition oppose. No, there's no opposition now. Anything that they want to do, they can do it without the opposition, which is not good. But if they are responsible, they can put in, they can achieve quite a lot. And what they must first try to achieve is to undo the years of underdevelopment of Kingston. Years and years of underdevelopment. They have to start the path now of redeveloping outside of Kingston. Kingston have all development it can take. So we have to get the commerce in the rural Jamaica.
All right.
So we are people in rural Jamaica are people also.
All right. Teddy, your time.
No, I agree with him, and like I said, the government now has an opportunity to expand itself. There are several more persons within the government, and so therefore the ministries being established can now be efficient and effective. And so therefore, as the Prime Minister said recently, they don't want to be dogged by no more corruption. And so the ministries now must be seen as helping not only the party, but helping the country.
All right. Agreed.
Teddy, just to say, there's no party to help, because as far as I know it, Thursday was a party day, and Friday is a Jamaica day.
Yes. So it's so the bottom line is that we put country above self or above party then. So that should be the emphasis. Country above party and self.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Teddy, we thank you for being here with us this morning. All right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, you have a good day.
You have a productive day. Thanks.
Yeah, man,
Good.
likewise. And so, our viewers, our listeners, we come to the end of another riveting discussion this morning. And we just hope that, all that have been said here, that those who are listening, viewing, will take it back, to the representative and especially the Prime Minister. Flood him with all your email, your text, your WhatsApp. Him use social media and let him know that these are some of the things that we Jamaicans want. So, time for us to get out of here, and tomorrow we have another special guest, a Jamaican who work in the Canadian government. And Flavius, I know you might can tell them more about our guest tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow we're going to have, as promised, a very special guest, Dr. Alvin Curlin. He was an educator in Canada and a politician, and of the highest order. He's a politician with all the records in Canada, having never lost an election, and also has a record in all of Canada now of having the most votes of any politician in any one election. He's a full Caribbean person, come from Jamaica and went to Canada and did extremely well. But he's also recognized by people around the Caribbean. And he was ambassador to the Dom Rep at one point in time. He's going to come to us and give us a good insight into the Caribbean diaspora in Canada. He's going to tell us all about that, what's happening with them, what they can do, what they should do, and how the Caribbean can benefit from having them there. And a lot of them are, very, very strong and powerful persons in that space, and what they can do to help the Caribbean push forward, and the more objective in what we do in the Caribbean. So he will speak to us tomorrow.
Via Zoom. So
via Zoom.
So with that, we
Bye.
getting out of here. So as always, take care of yourself, your loved ones. Always remember that prayer do changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. Continue to pray, and you must pray. This is Franco, along with
Flavius.
wishing you a pleasant afternoon, morning,
Yes.
morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you're in. And Tafina will take us out.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me I fi take away myself. Me I fi take away myself. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight. Me I fi take away myself. I fi take away myself. I have to utilize thy wings. Show the eye clean berries. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel I like a thief in the night. May I feel get out of sight. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Show the eye a clean berries. I say, yeah. Been there, done that, don't need it again, yeah. I'm not a masochist who won't play your game, yeah. To all you move, you off me way to the core. Sayonara, the hot girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Say no goodbye, girl, let me take away ourselves. Yeah, take away ourselves. No goodbye, girl, let me take
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.